The New York Jets lose to the New Orleans Saints 30-9 in one of the worst football games I think I have ever watched. Not only was it a bad game because, well, the Jets are really bad, but it was just boring. The game was just lifeless. It was a terrible game, and, well, we're going to be talking about it here on the show. Welcome in, everyone. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show, a post-game edition of the show as we talk about the Jets and the Saints, a matchup at MetLife Stadium that no one should ever remember after today. My God, was this game so bad. We'll break it down. We'll talk about Zach Wilson's performance. We'll get into that. Please, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video down below. And I want to remind everyone that support for the YouTube show is presented by Manscaped. Manscaped offers the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. They have just released their 4th-generation trimmer. It's called the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, 4.0, so you can join the over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Manscaped.com, promo code ASMAN, and you'll get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. So thanks to Manscaped for supporting the show. You can interact with me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Asman is just my name. Thanks for following me there. Looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. So I'll give you my thoughts, then we'll take some comments and questions about this game. I mean, look, there's not a whole lot of positives that come from this one. First and foremost, I mean, it just felt like the Jets were lifeless when you saw they were not going to have Elijah Moore, when we learned very quickly that Austin Walter, who was supposed to be the starting running back today, has an illness, and they were down to just 2 running backs. You just had a feeling it was going to be one of those days, and that's really what happened here. I mean, this game was just bad all around. Like, the Jets defense continued to be awful. They allowed 203 rushing yards, and honestly, the play at the end with Taysom Hill, where Ashton Davis takes a terrible route to the ball, terrible angle on that Hill touchdown, that was like just icing on the cake to what was a bad performance by the Jets defense. I mean, the Saints offense is horrible. It's just Alvin Kamara, and that's it. And the Jets still couldn't stop it because, well, that's been the story with this defense for basically most of the year. So the defense was bad. We'll spend some more time talking about them. But let's call out the offense here. This offense stunk. Now, I'm not going to make this about, oh, well, Zach Wilson's a bust because he didn't play well today. But I am going to say this. He didn't play well today. You know, as well as he played in the first half against the Eagles last week, today he just did not play well. And early on, the drops just killed him. The drops got him out of rhythm, like Ty Johnson having to be out there to drop 3 passes on the first 3 drives. I mean, what are we doing? The fact that they couldn't bench him because they had no healthy running backs was just brutal. And it just feels like every year around this time, you look at the Jets and who's playing for them, and it's a bunch of guys that don't belong in the NFL. It's a bunch of guys that belong on the practice squad, yet because of all the injuries, the Jets are stuck playing a bunch of guys that don't belong. And it's just maddening. It is maddening. No Elijah Moore was a killer today. No Corey Davis was a killer today. No Michael Carter was a killer today. No Tyler Kroft was a killer today. I saw this stat today that just blows my mind. The Jets lead the NFL in salary cap percentage that's on the injured reserve, meaning the Jets are paying more players that are on IR than any team in the NFL. I understand every team has injuries, but, man, it just feels like the Jets every year just get decimated with some of their best players going down. And this is a team that doesn't exactly have a whole lot of great players as they try and rebuild. So the injuries were apparent. You know, Zach Wilson at times was running for his life out there, and he also didn't play well. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Zach Wilson had a good game today, but it is a recipe for abject failure if you're expecting Zach Wilson to be able to go out there without his best players and in his 8th career game go out there and light up a good Saints defense. Like, it's not going to happen. So when you saw very quickly with what this Jets offense was doing, you just knew they were not going to win today. You knew the defense was not going to get enough stops. They can never force a turnover. And Wilson went out there and he struggled like most rookies do, right? He went out there and struggled today, and he didn't have any help from the players around him. No one made a critical catch for him. There were way too many drops. I'm not going to sit here and tell you every throw he made was perfect that a running back and or receiver dropped, but I mean, he's a rookie. You got to help him out. And the Jets gave Zach Wilson absolutely nothing today, and he also didn't play well. So it was a combination of drops, and Zach didn't play well. You know, some of you Jet fans expect Zach Wilson to already be Joe Namath 8 games in. I think I've been very realistic about expectations for him. There's going to be some good. There's going to be some bad. Today was a bad game. he didn't play well. It looked like he was unsure at times where to go with the ball. His accuracy wasn't there. The only positive I could give you for Zach Wilson today is that he did get through the game without a turnover, right? Zach Wilson in every game, even the games he's played really well this year, he's had at least one turnover in every start. That wasn't the case today. He did not have an interception or a fumble, but that's about it. I mean, look, the final numbers for Zach, 19 of 42, 202 yards, zero touchdowns, 0 picks. Like, a lot of that came at the end when the game was out of reach. So not a good performance at all by the quarterback. Obviously, you were hoping he could take another step forward after he had played well against the Eagles en route to winning Rookie of the Week. But, without Elijah Moore, without Davis, without Michael Carter, without Croft, and just the drops, it killed this team. And another guy I want to talk about, Denzel Mims, is horrible. Look, I was very outspoken at the beginning of the year that he should be playing, but the Jets were right to not play him. He's not a fit in this offense. He doesn't know how to line up. We're in week 14 of the NFL. I mean, the end of the first half, where the Jets rightfully benched him in the second half, where Mims gets the PI penalty and then lines up improperly, cost the Jets a chance at a touchdown at the end of the half. And then who knows how different this game potentially could be if the Jets were able to score there instead of having to settle for a field goal. So Mims was bad. Carter with all the drops. It was ugly for the offense. And obviously the rookie quarterback not being able to elevate guys, it's not that surprising when he's throwing to nobody out there. It was bad. It was really bad today offensively. And, I know the Saints have a good defense, but, I mean, come on. I mean, can you score more than 9 points? That would have been nice. And how fitting is it that the last play of this game is a play where Zach Wilson comes up short and would have been just a garbage touchdown. That wouldn't even have mattered at the end of the day. So it's just a brutal performance. The team just felt lifeless at times today. I didn't think they were going to win this game after I saw Elijah Moore went down, but you felt like they had a chance to make this way more competitive than they did. The garbage time touchdown at the end was just, classic Jets defense. I mean, this defense is awful. They allowed 203 rushing yards today. They went out there and they could not force any turnovers at any opportune times. That's been the story all year for this team. So just a really frustrating game, just an ugly game. By the end of it, there were no fans there. I mean, there weren't a lot of fans there to begin with. Why would you want to sit in the cold at MetLife and watch this product right now? It was unwatchable for most of it. And, it's just another loss. And for those curious, the Jets are officially eliminated from playoff contention, as if there was any suspense about that. But frustrating game. I mean, I could sit here and scream and yell, but I just don't think it's worth me losing my voice over it. Like the offense was bad. Wilson had a bad game. The drops were terrible. The protection at times was terrible. The defense was bad. It's been bad for most of the year, and that continued today against Taysom Hill, who is not a good quarterback. But you ask him to check it down to Alvin Kamara a bunch or hand off, he could clearly do that. And that was basically the story of the game today. But I mean, Ty Johnson with the drops, Keelan Cole with the drops, Mims with the penalties. Wilson wasn't good, but he had no help. And it's frustrating that, the Jets lose a couple guys and then you just see what the depth is. And it's not there. And today was one of those games, man. I gave you the positive, if you want to call it that. Well, Zach didn't have an interception. Eddie Pinheiro, he actually hit all 3 field goals. So it was nice to see a Jet kicker do the impossible, hit a kick. So we had that. Braden Mann had, I think, at least one good punt today. So that was solid. But, I mean, this was an ugly game. The Jets were lifeless. And, you're just playing out the stretch here, man. Hopefully Zach Wilson can show you something with the 4 games left. You got the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Bucks, and the Bills. That Jacksonville game, certainly the most winnable of the games left. I mean, I know no one wants to hear this because, no one cares about the Jaguars. No one pays attention. But did you see Trevor Lawrence today? Like, my goodness. Trevor Lawrence went out there today and was horrendous. His team got shut out, and Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions today, but no one's talking about it. Of course, it's got to be about Zach Wilson, and then tonight I'm sure Justin Fields will get slaughtered in prime time, his first game back from injury. But with rookie quarterbacks, it just takes time. Like, I don't know if Zach Wilson's going to be a star. I don't know if he's going to be a bust. Neither do you. And if you're making assumptions already 8 games into the kid's career, then this is not the show for you. This show's for nuanced Jets conversation, not hot takes. So Lawrence was bad today. Wilson was bad today. I'm sure Fields is going to be bad tonight. And then, of course, let's anoint Mac Jones as a Hall of Famer because he's on the freaking Patriots with the greatest coach of all time. So that's just how it goes. Bad game for the offense, bad game for the defense. Just a lifeless showing today for the New York Jets. With that, I'll open it up to some comments and or questions. Thanks to everyone who's taken time to watch this show live. If you're new to the show, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen, or like the video down below by clicking that thumbs up icon. I appreciate all of you taking time to watch this video. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Wilson looked awful. Yep, yes, he did. Irvin writes in, always making excuses for Zach. He just sucks. Irvin, I'd like to say this to you, sir. Please don't watch. Please. No one's making excuses for Zach. He didn't play well today, but he's also a rookie. What do you want the Jets to do? Draft another quarterback this year? Like, that's not happening. And this quarterback class is not great anyway. Like, it's just, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sure you said nothing last week when Zach was playing well. There's going to be growing pains, man. Like, it happens. It happens. He wasn't good today, but the idea that, we know what Zach Wilson is already. I mean, imagine Trevor Lawrence was the Jet quarterback and he had a game like he had today. What would you fans be saying? So it's just, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. With that being said, let's see if we can get some actual nuanced conversation with some questions here. Here's one from Dirty Boy. Why can't Zach make the easy throws at this point this season? Yeah, there were a couple plays today where he missed a layup. He missed a couple of easy ones. There's no doubt about that. I don't have the answer to that. I think his footwork's got to continue to get better. He's got to continue to just get more comfortable in games early. But look, he also made a couple really impressive throws today that were dropped. So you take kind of the good with the bad with a rookie quarterback. So, it is what it is. It's just, it was an ugly game. Not having Elijah Moore out there, you saw his value. Not having Corey Davis out there, you saw his value. Like when all of a sudden Jamison Crowder and Keelan Cole got to be depended on to be your number one, number two wide receivers, they couldn't get separation, and the Jets offense isn't good enough with a rookie quarterback to overcome the amount of injuries they have. So really frustrating, a really frustrating game all around. I like how I'm being called a Wilson apologist by some clown in the comments here because I'm saying you can't judge a quarterback after 8 games. It's amazing. You guys, imagine like Josh Allen was the quarterback. Go look at his numbers when he was a rookie, or Peyton Manning, or, Troy Aikman. I mean, give me a break. Trevor Lawrence stinks, but I don't hear you guys talking about that. It's just, my God. I might have to end the video short today because I can't deal with all the clowns in the comment sections today talking about Wilson as if this game is an indictment on him when he's missing his 3 best playmakers. I mean, come on, guys. Was Wilson good today? No, but let's just ignore last week's performance. So let's just ignore the Titans' performance. Like, what did you expect coming in from Zach Wilson this year? He was going to be Aaron Rodgers year 1? Like, come on, guys. It's very frustrating, as V-Man points out, that all the weapons for the Jets get hurt. It's like you look at this offense today, and like you don't have Michael Carter, your best running back. You don't have Tevin Coleman, your second best running back, who had been playing well. Then you go out there and you don't have Corey Davis, your free agent number 1 wide receiver you brought in. You don't have Elijah Moore, who's been your best offensive player this year. You don't have your starting tight end and Tyler Kroft. And then it's, well, why is Zach Wilson so bad? Well, he's a rookie for 1 and 2. He doesn't have his best players, and he's facing a good defense. So Marcus Lattimore could shut down one of the Jets receivers. Then who's Zach throwing the ball to? Edward writes in, Zach needs to go. All right, Edward, what would you do if you're the Jets at quarterback? What's your plan? You tell me. JP writes in, our D-line was supposed to be a strength. Our run defense looks like bad high school football. JP, the D-line, I think, is the most overrated unit on this team. They just get beat every time they play a good offensive line. They only show up when they play bad offensive lines. I couldn't agree more with the defensive line. Now, Carl Lawson not being there, that's a huge blow, but still, man, like this D-line is supposed to be a lot better than what it's been. That's why, like, if the Jets are in position to draft one of these stud edge rushers, I'm all about it, man. Premium positions. Corner, edge. Those are where the Jets need to drastically improve. Whereas Bobby B, we need him on the D. Yes, they could certainly benefit if Bobby Boucher could go out there and help this Jets team. Manny writes in, Jake, wait, I just dropped my pen like the Jets dropped those passes. It's amazing how we still watch and attend these games. Yeah, we're rebuilding, but it's Zach's first year, but Alex, we are bad, no D. Look, it is really bad, Manny. Today was awful. Today was terrible. It's just frustrating. Absolute frustration watching this team. No doubt about that. Boycott activation writes in. Who was Wilson supposed to pass to? Well, at times when he did pass to people, they dropped it. So today was a combination of the quarterback wasn't accurate. He had a bad game. The receivers dropped everything, and the running backs dropped everything. It's like a recipe for disaster. It's amazing at one point this game was like 16-9, and the Jets had like or 13-6, and the Jets were like within a score. JT99 writes in, can we talk about Saleh? He's terrible, does not hold players accountable. JT, I'm with you. I was furious that Saleh did not bench Ty Johnson right away, but then we find out the reason is because Austin Walters activated, and he has this illness he comes down with before the game, so you lose your starting running back. The CBS crew said that Mike LaFleur told them that Walter was going to start today at running back. So it's like you can't even bench the guy that stinks because you'd be down to one healthy running back. It was LaMichael Pirine who's not been good, who's been a bust. Eddie writes in, the Jets need some dogs. They do. They need better players. I mean, that's where this all starts. They need to have an unbelievable offseason and draft because the reality is we've been patient with this regime, or specifically Joe Douglas. The 2021 draft class looks good, but not good enough. Need way more dogs on this team going forward. Zach looks scared of contact. He slid down with a lot of room to go, maybe twice today. Roberto, I don't know if he's scared of contact. I think Zach's just being smart. He's playing with a bum knee. That's not at 100%, as we've talked about on the show. So I think he was just being smart on that play. I agree with you. There was definitely more room for him to run on that first 20-yard rush that he had early in this game. But, in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather the quarterback take care of the ball and protect himself than take unnecessary hits. V-Man writes in, Saints secondary didn't give our wide receivers an inch of separation. Wilson struggled, but he will improve. Give it time. Guy had none of his best weapons out there. Yeah, V-Man, I agree. Look, Wilson wasn't good today, but, I mean, I'd like to see Zach Wilson actually have a game where he has some of his best players around him before we just announce how bad Zach Wilson is after 8 games as a rookie. I mean, my God. What else you got? It's all just Wilson. Jags are going to smoke the Jets in our game versus them. I guess you haven't watched the Jags this year. You're probably the same person that told me the Texans were going to smoke the Jets, right? Yeah, that didn't happen. Let's see. John goes, open receivers he misses. How about the throw to Griffin, who was wide open? Yeah, John, Wilson missed throws today. Just like we all watched the same game. He wasn't good, but there were at least, 5 or 6 drops today too? See, it's not like an either or. Like, you could criticize Zach Wilson's performance while also saying he got no help from his players today. And they were out their 3 best offensive weapons. But apparently that's not allowed. Apparently you can't have a nuanced conversation with some Jet fans. Jake, this Jets defense sucks. Yeah, it is awful. And it needs way more talent. Way more talent. And it's just, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad enough that but here's the thing too. It's like the Jets' 3 biggest defensive free agent signings all never played a snap for them. So it's like they're bad on top of having zero luck injury-wise. Carl Lawson, LaMarcus Joyner, Vinny Curry. They didn't play a snap for the team. It's like it's unreal. It's like this is what I was saying at the top with the injuries. Like every NFL team has injuries, but it just feels like the Jets could just get decimated more so than other teams. They lead the NFL with guys on injured reserve as far as a salary cap percentage. Like the Jets have more players on IR making up the crux of their salary cap than any other team. It's just brutal. How does Obrick still have a job? How? Because Saleh's not going to make an in-season change, and because the team stinks on defense, so Saleh doesn't want to make him the fall guy. That's why. Do I agree with that necessarily? I mean, if the defense stays this bad and they made a change at DC, I wouldn't be against it. But Saleh's preaching his system, and it's year 1 of the defensive system. They're going to try and be patient and see this out. Let's see. Joe writes in, good defense versus an offense with a rookie quarterback, third stringers and practice squads players equals a brutal game for the Jets. Yeah, Joe, I do these shows and I try to break down what we saw, but you said it better than I could. That's really what happened today, guys. Zach Wilson's a rookie. He's played 8 games. He was bad against a good defense. and he had none of his players out there to help him. And when he did throw the ball, his playmakers didn't help him. Was Zach good today? No. Did he miss some throws? Yes. But, like, I'm sorry. Can Ty Johnson not drop 3 passes on 3 straight drives to open the game? Can Keelan Cole not have a brutal drop? Like, it just – can Denzel Mims know how to line up? Free Mims. Free Mims. Denzel Mims stinks. All right? I'm sorry. He stinks. The guy can't get open. The guy does not know how to run a route, and he doesn't even know how to line up. I'm done defending the guy. All right? With Corey Davis and Elijah Moore out, Denzel Mims had the opportunity of a lifetime today to go out there and actually flash like he did as a rookie last year, and he couldn't do it. He could not do it. So what does that tell you when late in this game, Zach Wilson is dropping back and throwing to some guy named DJ Montgomery, who I had never even heard of, out of Austin P College, and this is the guy that is playing over Denzel Mims? What does that tell you? Like, the route running for Mims is terrible. I agree with Q Cash here. I mean, good Lord. Joe writes in, this team has been ravaged by injuries. Don't understand the lack of love for Mims. Well, Joe, he didn't make any plays. Like, it's just he's had opportunities, and it's just been bad. It's been way too bad. Hunter Smith writes in, Saleh promised the organization would lift Wilson up, not the other way around. I saw no help from anyone. Yeah, like, once again, Zach Wilson bad today. Jets players around him also bad. It's not one or the other. like Wilson, not good. Also, Ty Johnson, 3 drops. Keelan Cole, drop. Denzel Mims, penalty. Offsides, killing a touchdown drive at the end of the half. It's like, you got to help the rookie playing in his 8th career game. You have to. Peter writes in, can you talk about Mekhi Becton eating himself out of the league? Let's hope he comes back and plays in these last 2 games, man. So much of the Jets 2020 draft class hinges on whether or not Mekhi Becton could be, a good left tackle in this league going forward. I'm not giving up on him, but, I mean, needless to say, it'd be nice to see him back out there on the field. My God. Also, I see some people want to talk about Eddie Pinheiro. Yeah, baby. The Jets have a kicker. 3 kicks today, all made. Incredible. Mr. Tuda writes in, at least Wilson didn't turn the ball over. Isn't it pretty ironic that Wilson had a bad game, yet this was the first game that he didn't have an interception? Just unreal. Rafi writes in, this team has not improved at all from week 1. See, that I disagree with. There's been areas they've improved in players. Like Michael Carter, good. Elijah Vera-Tucker, good. Elijah Moore, good. Like Bryce Hall, good. There's players on this team. There's not enough of them. That's the biggest problem. Like, this team has gotten better from a individual player standpoint. Zach Wilson's gotten better from where he was week 1. But there's not enough improvement as a whole. That's the big problem. Matthew Siegel writes in, he was at the game today. He's a diehard fan. Big Zach fan, but he didn't have a good game. Refs suck. Defense not good. Wide receivers and running backs dropped everything that Zach actually put on target. Overall, painful game to be at. Even a couple of the drops, Zach Wilson's throws on them were not necessarily perfect, but catch the ball. Catch the ball and help out your rookie quarterback. That's what's so frustrating, man. And, like, look, all these rookies are struggling. All the people that say Zach Wilson's a bust. All right, well, do you want Trevor Lawrence right now? Do you want Trevor Lawrence right now? I think Trevor Lawrence is probably going to end up being a good quarterback, but I think Zach will too. Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since Halloween. He was 22 of 40 today for 221 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions with a QB rating of 35.5 against the Titans. A team, by the way, that Zach Wilson beat this year and played great against. So, like, we're hyper-focused on the Jets, but it's not like Trevor Lawrence has been good. Oh, the Jet fan that wanted Justin Fields. Got to take Fields over Wilson. Justin Fields has been worse than Zach this year. Do I know if he's going to be good, though? No, I'm not giving up on any of these rookies. I'm just not. Like, the reality is you need more than just one NFL season to evaluate a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence this year has 14 interceptions. He leads the NFL in picks. He's got 9 touchdowns. Are we done with Trevor Lawrence already? Like, come on. BC writes in, concerned about Saleh. Not sure he's the guy at his press conference. Today was bad. Look, Saleh's here. He's not going anywhere. So they got to get him better players. If they're this bad a year from now, then yes, we could be very concerned about Robert Saleh. But the reality is, even if everything went perfect for the Jets this year, they weren't a playoff team. And then you factor in all the injuries. Then you factor in the growing pains from a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach, and a rookie OC. It's kind of what you get. I thought the Jets would be better than what we've seen. I thought they'd win 6 games this year. They have half that right now with 4 games left. So they're probably winning 4 games, 5, maybe 5, but probably winning one more game. I think the Jets win one more game at this point. And then they have to have an off season where they drastically improve the roster. Give Devontae Adams all our entire salary cap. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Jake Tua hasn't had his best players all year, yet he's been criticized all year. No, now you know what it's like. Yeah, look, Tua's played well, but he's played within their offense. They've done a good job coaching him up, getting the ball out quickly. My hope is that Tua plays well enough so that the Dolphins don't end up trading for Deshaun Watson. But yeah, I mean, like there's more coverage on Tua. Why? He plays in a big market in Miami. No one's talking about Trevor Lawrence, who's been awful. No one is. No one's talking about Trevor Lawrence. It's amazing how the media works. Mike writes in, there's a difference between growing pains and being unable to throw 5 yards accurately. Mike, that is growing pains. That's literally growing pains, what you're talking about. A guy that's not comfortable, his footwork is not refined just yet. That is literally growing pains, right? You've seen the great throws from Zach. Even in this game today, he made a couple of really good throws. But some of the easy stuff he's got to improve upon. He did that last week against the Eagles. Today was a step back. Please cut Ashton Davis today. Yeah, for the love of God, Ashton Davis has been bad. I can't defend it. He's been really bad. F. Monks writes in, there's something with these injuries. Something is not right there. Yeah, I just, it's hard to explain why this team continues to deal with the injury bug the way they do. Injuries are a part of football. Every team has them. But look at the injuries the Jets have just suffered this year. Just colossal injuries. Like, you just look at what Zach Wilson's throwing to today, and this was like as bad as it was for Sam with some of the receiving groups that he had in his 3 years with the Jets. Now, I think Wilson's better than Darnold and will be better than Darnold, but you know, like they gotta help the quarterback until he's ready to elevate guys around him. Expecting Zach Wilson to elevate the team when he's 8 games into his rookie season coming out of BYU is not fair to Zach. Mims was awful. Yes, he was, Larry. We've talked about that. Mims was awful. Bad, bad, bad. That's a way you could sum up today's game from Mike. Let's see. Heard the guys at the SNY pregame today toying with the idea of moving Becton to right tackle and leaving Fant at left. I'm okay with that. Look, whatever makes the offensive line better. George Fant, I know he had one brutal play today, it looked like, where Wilson got absolutely crushed on a 3rd down. But George Fant coming into today's game, if you watched any of the shows this week, we went through some of the numbers. He's been a really good tackle. He's been an above-average tackle for this Jets team this year. So I'm okay with that. Whatever makes the line better. Look, if they bring Becton back and want to give him some reps at right tackle for these last 2 games he's probably playing in, great. If not, whatever makes the line better, I'm all for it. Rick writes in, Sanchez, Smith, Darnold all played more years as a Jet than they should. See Arizona drop their rookie quick. Okay, Rick, so let's have you be the Jets GM, right? You want to get rid of Zach Wilson after 1 year, which is the dumbest take on the planet, but let's say the Jets agree with you. They made a mistake on Zach Wilson. They need to move on, just like the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen. Who's the quarterback you're taking? Cardinals had the first pick that year. Kyler Murray came out, Heisman Trophy winner. Easy decision, right? They hired Cliff Kingsbury. What do the Jets do if they want to go down that road? What do they do? Huh? They're picking 4th right now. Who's your quarterback? Kenny Pickett? Sam Howell? Matt Corral? You probably don't watch much college football, so I could tell you, based on the consensus from those who cover the sport, it is not a great quarterback class that's coming out. It's not like this past year where you had 5 guys go in the top 15. So it's not happening. Zach Wilson's the quarterback of the future. He needs more reps and experience, and he'll get better over time. But let's say they did want to move on from Zach. What are they doing? Who are they drafting? The answer is nobody. And you're not even picking high enough if they did want to do that. Let's see what else we got here. Trevor Lawrence has 4 interceptions today. Yes, we talked about this. No one wants to pay attention to the Jaguars, though, because, well, they're the Jacksonville Jaguars. James writes in, love your show, Jake. However, just end the season, unfortunately. Yeah, today was one of those games, man, where you're just like, oh, we got 4 more of these. Like, I'm ready for the off season. I'm ready for mock draft season. I really am. Hopefully they can win another game or 2 here and they can play well down the stretch and there's something to point to. But like, if Elijah Moore is not going to be out there and Michael Carter is not going to be out there, and we know the defense, no matter what's going to continue to suck, it's very hard to watch this team right now. No doubt about that. How many wins do you think Saleh needs next year to keep his job? Ralphie, I think that's an impossible question to answer right now. I got to see how it plays out. I got to see the offseason. I got to see what Zach Wilson looks like in year 2. It is I think, an impossible question to answer at this point. I would say the Jets need to be in the hunt going into the month of December, though, for me to feel like they are definitely sticking with Saleh going forward. Jay Perez writes in, JD needs to have at least 4 drafts before you could even think about letting him go. Well, he's had 2 so far. First one, major question marks, right? It's going to come down to Becton, really, because Mims I don't think is it. P. Ryan I don't think is a good player. Braden Nance, a punter. James Morgan's already a bust. He should never have been picked in the 4th round. Bryce Hall looks like a really good player. In 2020, not a good draft. It's going to come down to Becton, though. Becton's a really good left tackle. When he comes back and can prove he can stay healthy, that will change the narrative on 2020. 2021, pretty good draft, right? It's going to come down to Zach Wilson, obviously, but I think every Jet fan's excited about AVT and Elijah Moore and Michael Carter. So they need to keep stacking together good drafts. That's the only way things get better for this team. Quincy Williams can play. Yeah, he was a nice find, but you don't have enough good players on this defense. You just don't. Wilson isn't better than Darnold. They both stink, but Wilson's way worse. Get your eyes checked, PP. Tell me how Sam Darnold's doing in year 4. Still making the same mistakes he's made for the first 3 years of his career, and he can't stay on the field, which was an issue every year with the Jets. Zach Wilson's ceiling is infinitely higher than Sam Darnold's. I don't even think you can argue that. Let's see. I think PPP, we got to get rid of him. PPP, thanks for watching the show, but you are, sir, out of here. All right. James writes in, JD's first draft was for Adam Gase and Greg Williams. This year's draft for Saleh and his staff. I'm not giving Joe Douglas a pass for that, though. Yeah, you draft players sometimes based on the scheme and for the coaches, but ultimately a good GM, you draft good players. 2020's draft class right now looks bad unless Becton comes back and plays well. What do we do with John Franklin Myers now? Well, Seth, he's on the team. They signed him. He's going to be part of this defensive edge group next year. The reality is John Franklin Myers will be better if he's playing opposite Carl Lawson. Not having Carl Lawson has just decimated this Jets defense. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the reality. Let's see. Mims doesn't make any roster in the NFL. If we cut him today, dude is awful. That's not true, Vinny. Someone would pick him up. He has talent. It's just, it has not clicked with him and this offense. And I'm not making don't blame the Jets for this one. We can get on the Jets for a lot of things. They were right. Denzel Mims has not been good. He's had a bunch of opportunities this year, and every time they put him out there on the field, he hasn't taken advantage of it. And today they benched him in the second half, rightfully so, because the plays he made at the end of the first half were inexcusable. Inexcusable. I would trade Denzel Mims and get anything they can for him. Let's see. I'm sure I missed a couple comments here. Thanks to everyone who's taking time, by the way, to watch the show live. If you're new to the show and you want to interact with me away from the channel, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Asman. I post behind-the-scenes stuff from the show. And if you're a Jet fan, and I suspect many of you watching this are, if you want instant reaction in real time to all Jets news and live tweets during the game, Twitter would be the place to be for that. You got to follow me on Twitter at Jake Asman. I'll make it super easy for all you watching this live right now. Check the comment box here, and I will post the link to my Twitter account where you can follow me. Keep it simple, RC. 2 active RBs and Berrios as your number 1. How do you move the ball with that? It was going to be difficult. Should Zach Wilson have played better today? Yes, but, I mean, no Corey Davis, no Elijah Moore, no Tyler Kroft, no Trayvon Wesco, no Tevin Coleman, no Michael Carter. It's like, oh my God. It's brutal. It's brutal. And then like Zach wasn't good, but can we not have 1,000 drops? Just give me a break. Oh man. Let's see what we got here. James writes in, Jake, your show is more entertaining than today's game. Yeah, that's not good if that's the case. Today, you tell me if I'm right about this to my fellow Jet fans that are watching this. Today was just one of those games where you're just like, what am I doing watching this team? Like it was one of those games where it's just like you knew they had no chance to win today. You knew it was just like a pathetic, lifeless showing. It was just boring. And you're just like, why am I watching this when I could be doing anything else? I could be watching the Red Zone channel. Like, it's just like today was one of those games where it's like nothing exciting happened in the loss. Like, here's the thing: like last week against the Eagles, you had the first half. Zach played really well. Elijah Moore got it into the game, and he made plays. And you're thinking, all right, like this is exciting. Like this is good. Like, all right, the Jets lost, but all right, better draft pick, but at least the quarterback played well. Today there was nothing. Like there was nothing that makes you even nothing that you could point to where you're like, all right, well, they lost, but at least this happened. Like, oh, Zach Wilson didn't have an interception today. Woo! Oh, Eddie Pinheiro hit 3 field goals. Woo! Like, I take notes during these games, and those were the only 2 positives that I had. Just brutal. Max writes in, this is an interesting point, Max. I did a video about this actually yesterday on my national radio show after the Urban Meyer situation happened. When Zach has won 4 interception game, it's all anyone talks about. Trevor has had several games like this and nothing is said. Well, so Zach had 1 4 interception game, week 2 against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Trevor Lawrence in week 14 of the season just went out there and threw 4 picks. No one talks about it. I understand Zach Wilson didn't have a good game today, but like none of the rookie quarterbacks are playing well other than Mac Jones, whose team just won a game on Monday Night Football on the road where he threw 3 passes. So it's like, what do you want from these rookies? They're all bad if they're on bad teams. It takes a while for a rookie quarterback to get to a point where they can elevate the roster around them. And realistically, Zach Wilson is not at a point in his 8th game in the NFL where he's going to elevate this team. Should he have been better today? Yeah, I would hope that he'd be a little better today. But, I mean, I got to call it for what it is. Like, I don't know. What did you expect? Trevor Lawrence today was horrendous. His team got shut out against the Titans, a defense that Zach Wilson beat. But no one wants to talk about it. It's, Zach's a bust. They need to move on. Where are they moving on to? What's the solution? If you believe in Joe Douglas and you like the 2021 draft class, he picked Zach Wilson. So give him a chance. Give him a chance. If he's this bad a year from now, then it's a different conversation. But right now, the Jets are in a position where they're the youngest team in the NFL. More rookies have taken snaps for the Jets this year than any other team. And the reality is they have a first-year head coach, a first-year OC, a first-year quarterback, all these injuries. The success of the Jets going forward will hinder on the offseason. Right now, the Jets are going to be in position with 2 top 10 picks in the first round. They have, with another Panthers loss today, thank you, Sam Darnold, another Panthers loss today, the Jets are in position to have 4 picks in the top 40 of the NFL draft, including the 4th overall pick and now the 7th overall pick. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The reality is this regime needs an offseason where they just crush. And let's hope they're capable of putting that all together. Dirty Boy writes in, making good throws is a requirement as a starting NFL quarterback. Throwing 5-yard passes must be made. Hey, Dirty Boy, I agree. Zach Wilson's got to make some of those easy throws, but he's not going to be perfect as a rookie. All right, is this thing on? I'm hoping this works. I don't know what's going on with the internet. I saw. I everywhere I go in my life, there's bad Wi-Fi. There's bad Wi-Fi when I do the videos from my apartment. There's bad Wi-Fi when I come to the here so I could get the Jets. Oh my God. I hope this is working, guys. I apologize for the streaming connections here. Stay with me. I'm going to try and hopefully get this back up and running here. Everything's delayed on my end. So sorry. Oh my God, this is brutal. Oh, this is awful. All right, I don't know if this is working or not. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments. It is delayed, but my Wi-Fi here in the building is worse than the. I don't want to keep having this thing be all choppy and ruin the stream and the experience for all you guys. So I'm gonna wrap up the show right now because it's just awful. Nothing going right for me today. The Jets stink, and now I can't even do this crashing. So my apologies to the loyal audience who stuck with me through the just horrendous, internet performance here in the building. So I'm gonna wrap up right here, guys. I'm so sorry about the internet connection. I don't even know if you guys can hear me right now. So hopefully you can. If you can, thanks so much for supporting the show. If you're new, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more videos throughout the week, but this has turned into an absolute nightmare, just like the Jets today.